Good afternoon. It's Saturday the 5th of June. It's a bright, sunny, warm afternoon. And of course, I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a parcel to open. So let's find out what is in this one. Oh, okay, let's just see if I can get that to split again. Essentially, yeah, the tag just didn't tear all the way down, so there we go. Fairly slim, bright orange book, and we have Tomb of Immolation map on the back, the dungeon plan, and this is from Yog'du Games team. Comes with its own music, burning inside by ministry, and the Tomb of Immolation is a short but dense dungeon crawl with a variety of puzzles, traps and role-playing challenges to keep the players busy. The adventure includes several new monsters that are described in both 5th edition and OSR formats. In the bestiary, the area outside the tomb is only vaguely described to allow placement in an ongoing campaign. 3 adventure hooks are provided to give the characters a reason to explore the tomb, and finally printer-friendly maps and a set of 5 regenerated characters in both 5th edition and OSR formats are provided in the appendices. So, there we go. Quick introduction. Not too long, because obviously that script is not easy to read offhand. 1,000 years ago, this region was a savage frontier patrolled by a brutal order of warriors called themselves the Knights of Dorwyn, led by a charismatic but deranged human known as Archpriest Teluthil. The order was both a blessing and a curse for the locals. The Knights were reliable when monsters came around, but they also demanded a high tax for those they helped. The Knights took food, gold and family heirlooms, anything of value to continue funding their order. Sabah Nokre was a shaman necromancer of some local repute who had settled in the region years before Teluthil's Knights arrived. She mostly kept to herself and tried to avoid conflict with the Knights. But Teluthil discovered that she was helping people from the surrounding villages with potions and healing magic. The Knights of Dorwyn did not appreciate the competition, and Teluthil's deranged mind came up with a twisted plan to punish her forever. Teluthil would build the ultimate punishment, a prison tomb for Sabah Nokre and her followers that would be an inescapable torment. He spent years designing and built the Tomb of Immolation, and his obsession eventually destroyed the order. The Knights of Dorwyn essentially completed construction of the tomb, captured Sabah Nokre and her followers and apprentices, and sealed them inside forever. The prison entrance was buried under rocks and dirt. Records of its construction and existence expunged, and all knowledge faded into history when the Knights of Dorwyn were disbanded shortly after Teluthil's death about a year later. So it's a one-shot. Okay, essentially the player characters come across a map of the tomb, or map to the entrance. Okay, on the side of a volcano, ongoing campaign. Essentially, the party rests at the roadside inn, and basically they hear about some losses in the tomb. And here again, we've got more artwork and basically the tomb in black and white as opposed to full colour on the back. Ongoing campaign. A recent tremors have shaken the mountain town, and so they revealed the entrance. So, we've got basic description of the basics of the tomb, and then we go on to the entrance. And let's have a look. So, what's interesting here? Okay, is what I actually really like. First off, okay, is you've got the entrance hall here, and essentially this page here and here is just talking about the entrance hall. And you've got the map of sort of the entrance hall and the steps going down. Well, that's an excerpt from the back cover, or basically the main map. So the entrance going down there, they've taken an excerpt and included that in each of the entries of the actual dungeon. And then, so they do this again and again. So we get to room 2, the shrine, and you can see that basically all of its area. You turn to the back, and there we go. We've got it again, essentially there. I think possibly, yeah. Let's just try. I'm just checking the angle. The angle is a little different on the. I would point out that there's sort of the angle is slightly different onto the map. So if you have a look, okay, you go down the steps and you've got this side area with this sort of the flow of the river or the lava or whatever it is down there, and the side room. Yeah, it looks a little odd. It just looks a little odd on camera. Essentially, it is correct. So there we go. It looks reversed, but it's not. But it's easier. It's easier addressed. Every location seems to be illustrated. They've really done quite a nice job here, I think. Little basic pocket dungeon, encounters, plenty of artwork. So on quite dark, black and white, but it all works. You know, it's a tomb, lots of skulls, lots of the undead or all the dead, and yet more excerpts from the map. I mean, it's quite a nicely done design, I think. Yeah, that's very clear. Decent table there. Just paging through. Again, illustration of some kind of like ark or boat there, almost like a Viking longship tomb, that sort of thing. And again, more excerpts of the map used for basically to really just help the GM or referee run the game. And then that's it. Essentially, you get onto that bit. That's the adventure, and then we come to Appendix A. And we've not even, so look, that's page 41, and we're barely halfway through the book. So we're on to the bestiary. So we have an acolyte, a sub, an upright, a ghoul, and that's presented, essentially in a format that you basically you can access whether you're playing 5th edition or an old school Renaissance retro clone, whether that's old school essentials, Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Labyrinth Lord, pick your choice. So that's one, and then we've got a similar bestiary again, but that's for the OSR. So this one here is just for the 5th edition OSR. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long. Yeah, 6 pages long. And again, the one for the OSR is just as long. And we've got pre-generated characters. Again, 5th level champion fighter dwarf. There we go, double page spread. We've got an elf fighter wizard. Halfling rogue. Human cleric, human wizard, so on, and it does the same thing. So you've got dwarf fighter, elf fighter, magic user, or essentially it would be just an elf in under some retro clones, old school essentials, for example, halfling thief, human cleric, and so on. And they've got a list of backers. So that's Tomb of Immolation. Tomb of Immolation from Yog'du Games. It's an impressive little package, I think. You've got an adventure you probably play in a couple of sessions, and your versatility in where you put it, and versatility in what you use it with. Nicely designed, nice use of colour on the back, just to get an idea of what's going on. Eternal fire, tomb, mummy on the front, that gives a nice idea, and then clear, simple map on the back. Obviously, since this is a volcano, you've got the flow of the lava through the tunnels, and excerpts taken from that map throughout to illustrate the book. So yeah, that will probably I would check to see whether that's it's in sort of like a fanzine format, so it may well go into the fanzine thread or fanzine focus the next time around, or I may do it on the Fantasy Friday essentially thread, where I basically review basically a fantasy adventure of some kind, typically from the OSR. So yeah, quite impressed by that. Nice little book. That's available on drive-thru-rpg.com. Anyway, If you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do take the time to read those and respond as necessary. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you see me with a package and a book and a nice hot cup of tea, please click the subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching. I'll be back again with another unboxing in the Nook very soon. Bye for now.